Welcome to the Stack Guy Show, episode number 22. Joining me tonight is a multiple-time No Prep Kings Invitational winner, Justin Swanstrom. What's up, man?
What's on, guys?
Hey, man. Thanks for coming on the show. What do you got going on right now, man? What are you up to?
I'm in the shop right now. It's basically where I live at when I'm not at the racetrack. So I was just shipping out some merch. I was coming up with some ideas, editing some videos to keep content pushed out and keep rolling forward. Holy shit, we got a lot of comments already.
Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna keep going. So I saw a couple days ago you were out testing with Callie. What was that all about? What, Callie came down and wanted to test out her new screw blower, or what?
Yes. So Callie has switched over to a screw blower. Not a lot of people knew about it. Going off to the end of last year, and she has never been behind nothing like that. So Dwayne had asked my dad, and my dad asked me if I would get in the car, shake it down, and make sure everything is 100% good, and then we would put her inside the car. She is very much capable of being able to do it, but she just felt more comfortable if I got inside there, and I did. I made 3 passes in it. The first pass, it kind of bunny hopped off the track. Second pass, we took it out about to 330, and then the third pass, I made a full lick. Ran pretty good, and then we stuffed Callie in there, and she drove it like a champ. She only made 1 hit. We loaded it up. She's gonna fly back down again. We're gonna go testing with her, but she's all good now. She did her first burnout. She was able to do her first throttle whop. And then being able to make her first pass. So everything was good on her end, and I was happy for her. I was actually pretty excited to see her go through and do that.
Yeah, that's cool. Callie had joined your team last year, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Talk about having Callie as a teammate and how that goes.
Hold up, I was just sharing over on Facebook real quick. I started up Swan Gang in 2019. I started in my bedroom. I've always been a part of racing, but I wanted to start up something in 2019 when we'll kind of jump a little bit. That's when I started with Street Outlaws, and I knew what my goals were going into it. At the time, nobody really knew me from the street racing side and the TV show side, and I had goals moving forward, and I said within 3 years, I wanted my own team. I wanted to be a captain, and I wanted to keep doing that. So we'll talk a little bit more about the journey and everything to get into that. But for the most part, I got the opportunity. I started up a team. I had already had Swan Gang built up, branded. Everything was working good. I said we were trying to come up with a team name to be able to be on the show. And I literally pitched it to Discovery, Pilgrim, and them, and I said, why don't we just name it Swan Gang? It's already established. People like it. People that are going to be on the team, they're going to grow with my fan base as it is. So we'll see how it goes, and we did. We launched it, and first person I went and asked was Callie. She was in the future class, and I do think they did amazing. They ran well. They won races. They went to the finals. She would have got up in the invitational class by her own, but I do feel that the team deal did help her out a little bit. So by her accepting it, and me and her have been friends. We've raced a long time. I raced with her dad, and my dad and her dads know each other a long time. But her accepting it to be on Swan Gang, I feel like it made it a little bit more easier for her to be able to. They still had to put in work, but it was still it was a stepping stone in the right direction. So she joined it, and we just ran the rest of the year. I mean, I had a lot of people from other teams that hit me up, hey, I want to come join your team, or I want to do this, but I'm big into that, how my dad raised me, and with like even the construction work that we done. If somebody else has a job somewhere else and we're in the same line of work, I would never try to go and try to steal somebody from that job. So it's the same thing with the team deal. Like I told them, I said, if you and your team have a falling out, something, maybe we could talk about it later down the road, but I'm not just gonna come around and just try to take people from other teams. So Callie was the one that was able to join, and I said, you know what, we'll just stick with a 2-person team until the end of the year and figure out what we're gonna do for next year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, both of y'all did really well. You obviously had a great season. Callie did well. She made it to the final at the last race, I believe.
Yep.
Y'all had a good season. So you guys were out testing Cali's car, but what's up with prenup? What's the status of prenup right now?
It's getting wired right now. So it's up in North Carolina. It's getting wired. They just called me today. They sent me some photos. I got some stuff that I'm gonna post up. The updates of the car, the new look of it. It does have a different look to it. And then once it gets done wiring, it'll probably be next week or something when I can go pick it up. Then I gotta take it down. I gotta get all the body work done, get it wrapped, and then we'll be out testing with that car. Good thing about Callie's deal, it's the same setup that I got, so anything that we're learning off of her deal, we'll be able to go ahead and move it right over to my setup as well.
Nice. Is the plan to run prenup the whole year, most of the year?
It's kind of a sore subject right now. I'm not 100% sure. I'd love to have my new car. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I spent a lot of money to be able to have the new car, but it's not gonna be ready. I've made that very clear. I'm pretty much an open book, so I have nothing to hide from anybody. The new car will not be ready. And to be honest with you, I feel like if I'm gonna put the time in to get prenup started and get moving forward, when the new car is ready, I don't know if I'll take that risk in trying to get a new car set up and ready to go. It takes a while to get a new car acclimated and running good. I mean, we seen that last year. Kai switched over to a new car, and I even told him, I said, man, that's pretty risky to do. But I understood why he had to do it, and he did run well, but you did see towards the end where he switched cars back with David Gates, and shout out to David Gates for being a team player and allowing him to do that. That's the risk that you take. And so I've already made it clear that I've done switch directions. I just put an ass load of money in prenup. I wasn't expecting to put that kind of money back into that car. It deserves it. It's been a great car and it's worked good for me and the team, but yeah, I wasn't expecting to do it like that right now, especially when I got a lot of money going out for the new car side piece.
Right. Talk about why you think it's easier, because clearly you think it's easier to switch combos, which you did in the middle of the season, compared to switching cars in the middle of the season. Why is it easier just to switch a combo up?
I don't think any of it's easier. Everything's hard about it. I mean, I kind of lucked out. My dad is a great tuner. He had an idea with it. Shout out to Lee. When I started out with the screw blower setup, I got hooked up with Lee, had him come out. He was able to kind of guide us in the right direction, make sure we weren't doing nothing wrong. And then my dad took it over. And every now and then we'll bring Lee back out if we get, somewhere out in left field, or if we're just trying to maybe try something. Same thing with like Callie's car. We just went out there this weekend. Dwayne and Callie do run a Brad motor, so it's a little bit different setup than mine. They just had to put a new blower, new hat, so we were just making sure. So Callie and Dwayne both brought Lee out, helped us out, got everything moving forward, and then we're gonna go testing again in a couple of weeks. So, but my dad mostly does all the tuning, but it's difficult, man. A car can fight you, and especially a new car, and that's the reason why I had to switch directions by trying to get side piece done. When I ran season 4 with prenup, I received the car 2 days prior to the first race. I literally went to Orlando Speed World. I made 2 shakedown passes. It was horrible. I then went to the first race. I had to run, I want to say I won first round. Yes, I did. It was in Ohio. I won first round, and then I had to run Ryan Martin second round, and I got beat by half a car. We then moved on from that race over to, I want to say South Georgia maybe. I think that was the 3rd race. Somewhere, I think it was South Georgia. But me and my dad, we said, we got to go test. We got to do something. So we went and tested. We figured some stuff out, and then we won South Georgia, our 3rd race in. So that's where it was a good deal. But I told myself this year, I running for a championship, I didn't want to go through that again. My goal was to be able to be tested, be ready with the setups that I have moving forward. So I wasn't gonna wait, and prenup was the better car of the two to be able to get ready to be able to move forward. So about $60,000 later, and this is where we're at.
Thanks. Let's switch gears, Justin. Let's talk about what you just recently did, and that you just got back from Australia a couple weeks ago. How was the trip, man? How was the whole trip for you there?
Australia is a very nice place. Let me go ahead and start off by saying that. It's an experience of a lifetime. Not everybody will get that experience. I don't know if I'll ever get that experience again. But so it was awesome to be just invited to be able to go over there. I know a lot of people, they talk shit and they say, oh, he hasn't done nothing, blah, blah, blah. All he does is talk shit on the sport, blah, blah, blah. Well, I must be doing something right because I got invited to go over there. At the end of the day, it's a very nice place. I will say though, they are different. The people are amazing, but the place as a whole, it's like the United States, but like 15 years ago. Like they're a little bit behind times. And we were cracking jokes about it. And I'm sure whenever the Australians come over here, I'm sure things are a little different for them. The food's different. Food is rough over there. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't even understand how they could sit there and eat it. We've tried every restaurant. I tried an $800 steak. It just doesn't work. Like
What are they missing?
It's
Is there
rough.
seasoning on it or what?
Well, so that's part of the issue. I get there's some seasonings that they're not allowed to get over there. A lot of the sugar stuff that we get over here in the U.S., they're not allowed to produce that over there. So like very rarely will you see any fat people over there. I mean, I get it. I understand. Like if you want to lose weight, just go to Australia for a month. You'll be okay. Like their ketchup.
Ask the old man.
Yeah, their ketchup is tomato sauce, like mixed with. We said it was like mixed with Worcestershire. Like it's got a weird taste to it, so we didn't eat that. They don't have no ranch. They don't have no Thousand Island. They don't have no blue cheese. Let's see what else they got. Mustard. Sean Ellington, Murder Nova, is a big mustard guy. There's no mustard. No, nothing, nowhere. Their McDonald's is called Mackey's. They have no menu. They have a English McMuffins, their breakfast, and you can get a double cheeseburger or a Big Mac for lunch, and that's it. So think about the McDonald's menu that you have over here. They do not have that over there. There's no hash browns. There's no breakfast burritos. There's none of that. So it's definitely different over there. Their steaks, their meat is very gamey and very chewy. So I do say that they struggle a little bit when it comes to the food side. But the scenery is nice. The people are amazing. I will say this. I feel like the fan base over there and the people as a whole, they're probably the most kind people I've ever met in my life. And I did meet a lot of people and I met some good friends. I was a little sad to leave, I won't lie. But I was happy to get back to the States because, dude, I was ready to eat whatever. I mean, I was ready to go get a sweet tea from Chick-fil-A. I was ready to hit my Beef O'Brady's to get my wings. I was getting a cheeseburger wrap. I mean, I went on a straight binge whenever I got back home.
Nice. Now, I saw you guys get a little bit of free time. You guys went on a yacht for a day or so. How much free time did you actually get, though? Was that like your only day?
No. So we had to do a lot of filming. This show's going to be a little bit different than the stuff that you're going to see on the other shows. It's going to be a lot more reality. So there was filming throughout the whole week. I'm going to be honest with you, it was very tiring. You filmed all days. I think we got, Monday and Tuesday off. Well, not necessarily because Monday was a fly day. So we got Tuesday off. Wednesday we would go do something. Thursday we'd have to go to the track. Friday be at the track. Saturday be at the track. And then for the last race, we were at the track on Sunday too. But it was definitely a struggling deal. We did have, we were able to go do what we want, but we were filming stuff throughout the week. I was filming stuff with Kai, Stinky Pinky. So it was definitely a work thing all week long. I see everybody keep talking about the shop. Guys, I'm in the middle of reinventing, moving stuff around. Let me see if I can turn this real quick. So we're like building rooms and everything. So that's why it's kind of messy right now. Nothing is organized because we're in the process of building a merch room. We're building a podcast room. We're trying to get everything ready before prenup gets back here. So the shop is kind of destroyed right now.
Busy. So you hadn't had your small tire Mustang for a while before you brought it over to Australia. How did it perform over there?
The first race, can't talk a whole lot about it because, the show's got to air. People got to watch it. I will say that the first race was very struggling. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't have a whole lot of passes on it. There was some times where I did feel completely horrible because I really wasn't contributing not 1 cent to Team USA. moving forward past that race, we picked it up. We had the help from the other guys that were on the team. My dad, Big Country, my Uncle Mike. They were able to come together and give me a race car, and we started doing good. Yeah, we won't get into it too much. Y'all just have to watch the show. But definitely the first race was very struggling.
How was it being teammates with all those guys?
It was amazing.
For the first time.
It was amazing. I ain't gonna lie. We talk about, we're all in a group chat, and we actually still text to this day. And we said this is the only thing that we were talking over there talking about. It's gonna be very confusing going into NPK. When we left Australia that day, we were all riding on the bus back to the airport, and we were all just sitting there talking, and we said, it is going to be very hard to run NPK this year because like we're always at each other's throats, doing this. And yes, we're all competitive, and we're going to be competitive this year, but we got to live with each other for 5 weeks. There was no drama. Everybody had fun. There was no incidents with anything going on. So it was a cool deal, and I felt like everybody got to be a lot closer and know each other a lot more. And so moving forward, like Sean said, Murder Nova, he's like, I'm sure one of y'all is going to piss me off the first race of NPK, and we'll probably be back to square one. But for right now, he goes, it's kind of hard for me to be an asshole to y'all because I kind of like y'all. So that was definitely an experience right there, and seeing that team. And I'm hoping, moving forward, if we go do that again, there has been hints that we are going to be doing something else. I put a little request in there. I said I feel like it should be the same 10 that went out there. The 9 drivers that were there, and then Boosted. Boosted was head over all of us. He was trying to negotiate. He was out there, making sure the crowd and all that was entertained, and that wasn't an easy job. I mean, the sun was over there brutal. It was beaten down. He was able to talk him through the whole entire time. So I feel like if we were able to get the chance again to go do that again, I hope it's the same 10 guys that go in, because it was drama free. I felt like the show was amazing. We all worked together off the show, just like we did when we were on the show. So it was an all around good deal.
Nice, man. And did you get any chance at nighttime to partake or party with any of the locals from Australia? Maybe do some shoeies, something like that.
I did not do no shoey. I wanted to, but I just everything was so busy. I mean, I will take it back. I did go out and party. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I partied in every city. I don't usually party a lot, and even like when I'm here in the States, I don't party a lot and I don't drink a lot. But I will say that they drink a lot over there. There was a girl that I was posting on my page, and people were seeing and all that, and she actually took us out whenever we were I took her out, but she came and introduced us to our city over there in Sydney. We went out there. When we were in Brisbane, we went out on the boat. We went in Perth. We went out and hit some places. A lot of places close early, like like Perth, everything closes at 9 o'clock. So there was times when we were at the track later than 9. You're done. You got to wait till the next morning for you can get any food, anything, because everything closes at 9 o'clock. So that was a little different, but yeah, we had fun, and we did a lot of party. Even Team NOLA, Scott Taylor, Jeff Lutz, all of us was out there, and we were all out, hitting the bars, having fun, and it was all around a fun experience.
That's good, man. I hope the ratings are good on the TV show. I hope y'all continue to do that stuff, man. Go to the country and experience that shit like that. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about No Prep King season, upcoming season. You had a video out, I think it was last week, on your YouTube, where you basically read the rules for this season. Mm-hmm. Is there a combo that you think is going to do well, and is there a combo you think is going to struggle?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't get too far into the rules. I don't care what the rules are. Whatever they are, I adjust to them. I'm not on that little rule committee. I'm not special enough to be on there, but I'm glad I'm not on there. I don't have to make that decision. Whatever the rules are, and I was called by a few racers like, hey, what do you think? And at the end of the day, like I told them, just like I'm gonna tell y'all, we don't care what the rules are. We don't care what the weights are at. We don't care what combos what. I do feel as long as there's parity and I don't mind getting beat because the other guy made it down the track or he's better than me that day. But don't let just us, or even not take me out of this, just anybody get beat because the rules are just in favor for that combo. So that's one rule that they came out with this year, is that every 3 races, if somebody's just out there just blazing away and they know for sure that they're on it, then there's going to be a rule adjustment, and I feel like there should be that too. So we'll see how that plays this year. But I think the rules are pretty fair. I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking at the rules, the weights, looking at all the combos, how they are. Yes, they're going to have their bells and whistles, and there's going to be a couple hundreds here and there. But for the most part, I think starting out, I think the rules are pretty fair.
Nice. And one of the rules, you guys are down to a 34.5 tire.
Yep.
Do you think that's going to like tighten the field up even more now? Like make it even more tighter for like 20, 25 guys that are really close for speed wise?
So my personal opinion is no.
Okay.
I was asked about that too, and I have no problem saying it. The people that put in the work and that run up front, they're going to continue to put in the work and run up front on the smaller tire. You don't get to just put the guys that are running up front on a smaller tire and they're going to slow down and think the back half of the field that gets put on a smaller tire too is just going to speed up to be able to make it. It doesn't work like that. So if you say instance, first half of the field slows down a tenth and a half, whatever it may be, that other half of the field, unless they're going to put in the work and do their combo how they're supposed to and go test and do whatever, they're going to slow down that same increment too. So I feel like, and I think this year is going to be the most competitive year. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely going to be tough, but you're going to have to put in work to be able to be up front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. So what's your goal for this year, Justin? Obviously you finished third the last 2 seasons. Is it? I mean, I know you want to win a championship, but is it like a down year if you don't finish in the top couple again?
Yeah, every year is like the way I look, even like rolling in last year, me coming out and finishing third my first year was great, but it was also a hinder too, because at the end of the day, my fan base, myself, I expect to finish third or better the following year. Last year, we got wrecked, we struggled, we moved back to 16th, we moved ourselves all the way back up, and we finished third at the end of the year. At the end of the day, with everything that I had going on last year, I was okay with finishing third. I would have loved to have been second or first. It is what it is. But I did finish third. So, moving into this year, I'm on the same mindset. I need to finish third or better. And I don't know how it's going to lay out. There's a lot of fast cars. There's some teams that's gearing up for this year, that's getting better. So it's definitely going to be tougher. This is going to be the hardest year of Street Outlaw No Prep Kings. I can guarantee that.
Yeah. And then there's been some videos out and some talk about possibly the whole All No Prep Kings kind of format changing. And we don't have to get into the details of it, but are you excited for the changes that are possibly going to happen next year?
Yes. I think it's gonna broaden everything as a whole. I think it's gonna bring in a whole different view look of it, and without getting too much into it, I feel like a lot of people will have to up their own program and work harder on their program and not have the satisfaction of relying on others.
Agreed. I agree with that, man. And it's definitely gonna make for better TV. I think it's gonna, switching it up. You can't keep doing the same thing every year, and not that they do,
Mm-hmm.
So I think Sam, whoever came up with this idea, I think switching it up, keeping it fresh, I think is great for everything, man. So you mentioned your dad earlier and how he tunes your car and stuff like that. How is it? You're the only one I think in No Prep Kings that had with this father and son combo where you are the driver and he tunes your car. How does that relationship work between you guys?
So I mean, me and my dad, we have a great relationship. As in, we've been together, since day one. We hang out every day. We eat lunch every day. We have a very tight relationship. Sometimes we are around each other too much, and that can cause little shit here and there. But if we ever get in an argument, and there's people that's probably seen us argue at the track or whatever. One good thing about my dad and me, or anybody, if we get an argument, we're going to say what's on our chest right there, and within 10 minutes, we're back to normal. It is what it is. We done moved on from it. I'm not going to sit there and dwell on it, and neither is he. There's every now and then we just get into a little altercation, but we've gotten a lot better. And some things I'm wrong for. I feel like some things I am right when it comes to, you know, branding and doing all that. And then like one thing I have to learn is, even though I run the operation and I own it all now, and I'm the one that makes the final decision. I am the end all be all, I guess you want to say. But at the end of the day, he's still the tuner. So there's a lot of times that I fuck him up by trying to get suggestions or trying to get him to take a step back or whatever, and then we end up going in the wrong direction. So I've gotten a lot better with, like, you know, leaving him be and letting him do his thing. And that's one thing that I realized over in Australia. I was trying to be so cautious, and I was wanting to do different shit, and it just wasn't working. And then finally we got into our little blow up, and then we basically, I'm gonna drive, he's gonna tune. It is what it is, and it worked out great. And that's the same thing I plan on moving into NPK. I got so much shit going on running this deal, and this thing has gotten pretty big. Swan Gang has gotten pretty big, so that's one thing I have 100% faith in him, and he's gonna be able to handle it all. And whatever his decision is moving forward, that's what we're gonna do. So if we want to go test something, that's why I told him. I mean, if you want to test something, you want to do whatever, I'll spend the money. I'll make sure we get the parts. We get it. Let's go test, and we par. We got a couple different converters we're about to start testing. We got different rear gears. We got shocks. I mean, there's some stuff, and I literally spent the money to be able to do it, and we're gonna test to figure out what the better combo is.
Nice. It's cool to see you guys, father and son, doing that stuff on the TV show, man. That's good.
What's up, Richard?
Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
Ricky, want to know your top figure. So this year was your first time on the street. Don't get into details of what actually happened there, but how was your experience racing on the streets for the filming of Made It Cash Days?
I loved it. I ain't gonna lie. I won't lie to you. We fucking sucked. It was pretty rough, but I had never been on the street in my life. I got a car a day before the event, but it was definitely a learning curve. And the car that we were working with at the time, it was we couldn't change it around for our liking. And even moving over into Australia, we were still struggling because, like, right when we left the street deal, we put it on a container and shipped it across the ocean. So, like, we didn't get to change stuff that we wanted to change. So granted, it could have been a whole lot better, and it probably could have been different. But that's one of those deals that I was kind of glad. I mean, I hate that we lost, and we weren't. I will give that information out. We lost, whatever. But I hate that, or I was okay with it because hypothetically, you know, say all the stars lined up and we did go out there and just boom, dominated. That means you'd have to dominate every single time. And I had very low hopes going into that deal. I even told Dad, I said, listen, I've never been on the street. I'm a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see what happens. And let's just go out there, and I just want to have fun. And I did. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I had a lot of fun. Boosted GT, he was helping me out. I was talking with Ryan, Murder Nova. I mean, I watched the show, and I tell people all the time, I'm not a street racer. You'll never see me go ahead and say, and you'll never see me just, you know, back the door down, pull the car out, and let's go ahead and get the street on. I've probably ran for more money in a grudge race than any of the other guys have ran before, but I make it very clear. I'm not a street racer. I don't need to do that. But I feel like for my brand moving forward, I need to go ahead and get into on the street shows. And that's what we did. And it taught me a lot, and it helped me out a lot, because now I'm getting geared up to be able to go out there, to be able to try to compete and move forward and try to win.
So is it safe to say you definitely want to be on some more street shows moving forward?
Oh yeah. Yes. Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely be out there.
Let's talk about all the success you've had on Street Outlaws now, Justin. Like you said, you were chosen as one of the top 10 to go to Australia. You've been in the top 3 now, 2 seasons in a row since you've been in No Prep Kings. Talk about how how it is to accomplish so much already in such a short time on the TV show.
A lot of hard work. I ain't gonna lie. I tell people all the time. I know a lot of people think that, you know, I'm just on there being comical and having fun, and I am. I tell people the day that I don't have fun doing this no more will be the day that I'll sell everything and I'll go do something else. I mean, I do have fun traveling around. I have fun meeting all the fans, doing all that. That's what keeps this thing driven and keeps it going. And I try to thank all my fans as much as I can, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do this. I backed away from a 6-figure job, taking on racing full time. I now get to travel the countries, and here in the United States, and moving forward, now I'm running on the street. Now I'm doing other stuff. I get paid on social media, so I'm doing a lot of things. I ain't gonna lie. And it's definitely a lot of hard work. I wouldn't be able to do it without my team. I have some sponsors. Shout out to Hormone Logics. He came on board last year. That was a huge sponsor. He doesn't come back on board this year. We have some other things that we're gearing up that we haven't released yet, but we're working to do that. I always had the urge to want to be great, want to move forward, and want to keep winning. So I was okay with doing whatever it took to be able to try to be up front, try to beat Ryan Martin, try to beat Kai Kelly, Lizzie Musio, Daddy Dave, all of them. And some I have taken a loss to, some I have won over. It's definitely a struggle deal. But we were able to put it together and, you know, finish third. I don't really have a game plan like, hey, if you go do this, you're going to finish too, because it doesn't work like that. Anything can happen with this racing deal that we got going on. But at the end of the day, I feel like my team has probably, a lot of teams work hard. I'm not going to say that, but I feel like my team does have a lot of heart and moving forward. And no matter where we go or what we do or what style racing that we do, you're not going to be able to count us out. Sooner or later, we are going to figure it out. We're going to be able to move forward, and I will do whatever it takes to stay up front.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, Justin, is you've done obviously an amazing job with social media, and you're always grinding it. You know exactly what you need to do with that. Talk about some of the future plans with social media and maybe getting your podcast up and running again, stuff like that.
So yeah, we're starting up a podcast. I already started it, but I moved rooms. I'm now here in the shop. We were racing a lot last year. Then we ran the street show. Then we went to Australia. So we haven't had time to really do nothing. Now that I'm home, prenup is getting done. We're basically taking these next couple weeks. I'm building a merch room. I'm building a podcast room. We're starting back up a podcast. I'm going to be flying special guests in to be able to have a guest on there and do our podcast, along with me, my dad, my Uncle Mike, being able to do that stuff too. I think it's going to be a great avenue. Swan Gang has kind of outgrown me. I've held the reins the whole time. I handle everything. I do all the editing. I do all the posting. Anything that you see on social media comes directly from me. So that is changing a little bit this year. I will still be the one that is commenting, answering messages, doing the post, but I did hire a film guy that is basically going to do nothing but just follow me around with a camera, film the stuff, edit the videos, and moving forward. I also hired a guy to be able to, I'm going to have to train him to be able to work on the car, do all that, because my goal is this year at NPK is to try to sell as much merch as we can and stand out there and be with the fans. So I am switching the team around a little bit. We are adding some people on to be able to, you know, help work on the car. They will have designated jobs that they have to do, and they will be able to work on the car. If there's anything that is, I say, above their pay grade, I'll be there to make sure that it does well and goes smooth. But for the most part, my goal is to try to stand out there as long as I can, greet every fan that comes in, have fun, sell merch, and just keep growing the fan base. One thing I've always told everybody, the fans is what keeps this thing going. If they relied on just the drivers to come to the track, no track would stay open. The fan base is what keeps this going, and I've been very good about that. I tell people all the time that people literally save up their hard-earned time and money to be able to come out and see us. So I will literally do whatever it takes to be able to try to make every race, do all that. Even last year, we wrecked a car. We fixed the car in 3 days, and there was a time where I was like, man, I'm just not going to make that race. And I told Dad, I said, we have to try. If I can't do it, I can't do it. But I at least got to try. I'm not going to cut it loose this far away from the race day. Because at the end of the day, like I said, people do spend their hard-earned time and money to be able to come out and see us. So you want to put on a show, you want to do that, and I want to make sure that I put on a good show, and I feel like I do. There's a lot of other drivers out there that put on good shows too. There's some drivers that milk the shit out. I'm not gonna lie. They milk it out, and they know who they are. And sooner or later that'll come to a head, but it is what it is. But I feel like I do put on a good show. I feel like it's entertaining. My social media is entertaining, and that's the reason why I have succeeded so well, and I've gone up to the top pretty fast, and I've got invited to the other shows, and I've gotten invited to go to other countries, and it's not because I'm not doing my job.
Right. No, you're exactly right. Have you ever thought about teaching a social media class to some of the drivers on the Prep Kings?
Yeah.
Just in my little bit of time of doing social media now, like it's so beneficial once you get into it to help your program that I'm like thinking, man, some of these drivers should really be doing this hardcore. Like they could help their program so much more.
I tell people all the time, and there's a lot of shit. I don't. So like when I make, let me go ahead and just break it down for everybody. When I make posts and I do my stuff on social media, my ultimate goal is to be able to get people to talk, either people to talk shit, to bicker back and forth between each other, and just to be able to grow my deal. When I make that post, I forget about it. I never even think about it again. I keep it moving forward. I may comment back for the first 30 to 45 minutes, and then I keep it rolling. I'm on to my next deal. So when people are like, oh, you're beating a dead horse or you're doing all that. No, I plan stuff out because I know how it's going to go and I know how to do it. Like my biggest thing right now is there's sometimes that I'll misspell words. And I love it when people go on there and go, damn, he's illiterate. He misspelled it. No, I misspelled it because I got you to comment to tell me that I'm illiterate and misspelled it. And it's okay with me because at the end of the day, I just got an extra fucking 30 comments on my post. That's how I get paid to be able to move forward. Now that's just a little bit of free advice. I know other people are going to start doing it too because it does not take much. I do get copied on a lot of my shit moving forward. But at the end of the day, I'll always come up with new stuff, keep moving forward, and I'm young enough to be able to keep going with it. So, but at the end of the deal, I do feel that racers could easily grow their fan base and do a whole lot more for their program if they would just put in the time to do YouTube, do Facebook, do Instagram, think about their fans, sell merch, and there's a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, I can lead a horse to the water, but I can't make him drink. So right. I'm good with it, and I've learned to stick to myself and just grow my deal, and it is what it is. And that's the reason why I feel like at the end of the day, I'm a top 5 person over in No Prep Kings. And I've been doing it for 3 years, and there's a lot of people that hate that, but at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm gonna keep moving forward in my program and be good.
That's right, man. Keep doing you. You're a little off-topic question, but so I'm a football guy. Played high school, college, semi-pro, and I had heard you were a football guy at one point too in high school.
Yeah.
I want to know, were you any good?
Yeah. I mean, everybody says that they're good or whatever. I get that, but I mean, I was a good football player. I played football my whole life. I started when I was a young kid. I went to combines. I could have easily went to college. I had scouts that were coming and looking at me and all that, but at the end of the day, I decided I wanted to go racing. And I told my dad, I said, listen, I don't want to go to college. I want to go racing. This is what I want to do. And at the time, we were working and racing on cars, or racing cars. And so I decided I didn't want to go to college. So I finished high school, and I graduated on a 4th. I think it was June 4th. And that was a Thursday. And on the 5th, which was a Friday, I went to work. Now during my summers and my spring breaks growing up, I worked with my dad at a construction company. I was a younger kid, so like I wasn't out there every day, but I did work and I understood it moving forward. So like I said, when I told him that I didn't want to go to college, I had to go to work. So the next day, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I started pushing forward, and we started up another side of the construction business. Basically, my dad did underground utilities, put it in pipe his whole life, doing road work, and we wanted to start up another side, and because I just graduated, we went ahead and did that. That's how we got into the vac truck and TV truck business. I did it for 7 years. 2019, I raced the whole time, but 2019, I started social media, as in Facebook, YouTube, and I still to this day wish I had it whenever I was racing way back in the day. I feel like I'd be 10 times farther ahead than what I am now, but it's all right. So 2019, I started it, and I used to wake up at 5 a.m. I'd work a vac truck or a TV truck all day. I'd get off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I would handle my social media on the after hours. I'd stay up till 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. I'd get 2 hours of sleep. I'd get back up in the morning at 5 a.m. and I'd go back to work. I did that for a year straight, moving in forward. And then basically I told my dad, my mom, that in February of 21 that I wanted to pull away, and I wanted to take social media on full time. That was the game plan. They were kind of against it at first. They said that it maybe it won't work, and I told them if it didn't work, then I knew I always had somewhere where I could come back and do it. But I basically told them that I wasn't going to work construction my whole life. My dad has worked construction his whole life, and he's made a good living, I ain't gonna lie, but it's definitely hard work, and you're out in the sun all day, and I feel like there's so many other avenues out there that you can do different stuff, and that's what I did. So I backed off and I took on social media, and it just started moving forward with it.
That's awesome, man. And you're right, usually when I ask a question, if someone was good at sports back in the day, they always say, yeah, I was really good. I was all this and all that. So in this case, I did a little research, because I gotta, when someone tells me, I gotta see if it's true or not. So I want everybody watching here, I got a little video clip to play of Justin playing football in high school. And I want you guys to get your own opinion if you thought Justin's any good or not.
Bottom of the screen, tight end.
Damn, I don't even know where you could find these at.
Quarterback.
Those are some old clips.
Quarterback again. Quarterback.
Hey, man, you were slinging it a little bit there.
Those are some old clips right there, I ain't gonna lie.
I went to Max Prep and just found a highlight tape of yours from one of the games you played. I think it was your senior year.
Yeah.
But man, I watched a lot of them, man. You're throwing the ball pretty good.
Yeah. No, I played quarterback growing up and everything. I used to be able to throw it really far. And to this day, like when we're at the racetrack or whatever, kids come out and want to play football and all that, I'll get out there and sling it with them. We do some foot races. I'll run with them and all that and just have fun, because at the end of the day, they're there to have fun and be entertained.
Nice, man. Hey, I have a new portion of my show where I call it Did You Know, right? I read off a couple of facts of yours, a couple of good ones and then one not so good one, and I want to get your opinions on the facts.
Okay.
So, since season 4, which is your first year, obviously we know you've taken third place twice, but did you know that you were actually tied for event wins with Kai Kelly for second place? So out of invitationals, grade 8s, and team attacks, all the stuff that they show on No Prep Kings, you're actually tied with Kai since season 4.
Nice.
So
I'm so glad. Hold up. Let's see if this dude will answer the phone.
I know that was good for your rivalry there.
I'm gonna send him a text and let him know. So
Yep.
all right, I got
as many events as Kai.
Got it.
since season 4. And then when you get to the finals, you've been in the finals 8 times with all those included since season 4. You won six of the times you won, so you have a 75% win percentage in the finals, which is second only to Ryan Martin. We won't talk about Kai's win percentage in the finals, but you are definitely second.
Well, usually I gotta face Ryan either in the finals or in third round. Like I don't know what it is, but I run Ryan. I'm pretty sure, I don't know about this stat. I think I run Ryan more than anybody.
I looked it up. I looked at that stat today because I know you had said that during the season at one point. And this past season, you actually did run him more than anybody.
See, I at least knew it.
Since season 4, you're second to Lizzie. Lizzie's actually running more, but I think obviously when you guys are running really good, all you guys at the top are going to run each other more than anybody else.
For sure.
You guys are going to face each other later on in the rounds, but I got one stat here you're not going to like, and you're going to have to make up some ground this year. But since season 4, you are 4-8 versus Kai Kelly in no prep games.
Yeah. So me and him go back and forth a lot of that. I wish you would. What you need to do is, because now you're gonna blow his head up, you need to go back to the grudge days when I was stomping his head in the ground and I was 6-0 against him, and then I ended up being 2-0 against him when we started No Prep Kings. We slacked off, and I gave him a few wins coming forward, but I will say that when he did come out with the new car, the Shocker, I was the first person to give him his first 2 losses in the same weekend.
Yeah, no, and dude, you got some hardcore fans. So like, one of the first times I posted that he had actually won more races against you. Some of your fans were messaging me saying, "Man, you missed all the grudge races."
It's good. Me and Kai go back and forth, and we've became pretty good friends. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know his take on it, but I think in my eyes, I think we became pretty good friends. I mean, we do quite a bit of shit. We talk to each other at least once a week. Text back and forth, call. He invited me to go up to the hunting camp. I haven't been hunting since I was a kid, so I did tell him I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the gear all back out, get it all ready, scopes all sighted in, and I'm gonna go up to the hunting camp with him and David Gates. And even though on the racetrack we all, are very competitive, and I want to beat both their ass more than anybody, we could still have fun off the track, drink some beers. There's been plenty of times. Hell, last year, Minnesota, me, him, David Gates, and a few of the crew guys, we stayed up till 6 a.m. Friday night drinking beer, and had to be back up, because the gates open at 9 a.m. on Saturday, had to be back up and race all day Saturday. Like, that was probably very rough, and I don't understand why we stayed up that late, but we literally sat there around a fire, drank beer all night, and just talked shit and having stories. Nice. and moving forward and having to race the next day. But yeah, those are good guys. I'm not gonna lie. David Gates is another good dude. I became pretty good friends with. And when we went to California to run the TV show, we shot the after hours. I bought a Airbnb, and Lizzie, Kai, David Gates, they all stayed in the same Airbnb with us, and we shot content. We had fun. We had to go out, shoot the street show. So it was a cool deal, and we became pretty good friends after the whole deal.
Nice, man. Tom Pierce, those stats the Tulsa race was included because I know it wasn't showing on TV, but Justin definitely earned that, so I definitely included that race.
Kai still owes me 2 U daddies.
All right, Justin, if you want to take a couple questions from the fans here, so if you're watching, if you got any questions, Justin will watch in the chat box and pick out something he wants to answer. While that's going on, I am going to shout out a couple of my partners. For any and all No Prep Racing news, not just Street Outlaws, go to noprep.com or the No Prep Racing page on Facebook. This is the #1 source for all things no prep, so be sure to check it out. Are you looking for a quick access firearm storage system that has a variety of access control levels based on your needs? Well, head on over to doorgunnerusa.com, a family-owned business who makes their products 100% right here in the USA. If you're in the business for motorsports, automotive, or event photography, look no further than Annette Bauer Creative. She specializes in photography as well as social media management and partnership consultations. You can find her on Instagram or through her website at AnnetteBauerCreative.com. CajunHeritage.com is the place to go for authentic Cajun flavor. Rouge seasonings provide a high-quality, pure, and affordable option when you're looking for that South Louisiana taste. All right, I found a couple of comments here, or questions. A bunch of them want to know if prenup is going to stay the color green.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. That is badass color.
I'll go ahead and I'll do a little speed steal. Will Big Daddy Brian be back this season? Yes, he'll be back. He's not ever going to go anywhere. Prenup's going to be green. When do you think side piece will be done? I'm not 100% sure. Who do you like racing the most? It's between Ryan or Kai. I feel like it's always a good race. It's a great race for the fans. No matter, you never know which way it's gonna go. I know people. Yes, Ryan is pretty dominant, but he did get beat quite a bit of time. Who beat Ryan the most this year?
Who beat Ryan the most this year?
Yeah, you got all the stats.
I do, but you kind of put me on the spot there.
I'll go ahead and answer some questions while you're doing that.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Yes, was it Justin's Airbnb where he had his ass out? Yeah, that'll still be. I think that'll be on the show too. Will you do any more grudge racing? Yes, we grudge race all the time whenever we're running at PK. What's the most you've ever ran for? I've made one grudge race before, one pass before for $98,000. That was a pretty stressful deal. I was like 17 at the time. Let's see.
I think it's gonna be. He doesn't lose very often. I don't know who. It's a lot of guys.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go ahead and say it was me. That's the only reason why I asked it. I had to run the guy more than anybody, but I think I got 4 of the wins this year.
Grade 8, I think, is when he did it the most too, right?
I couldn't tell you that.
I mean, we could just say you. Who's gonna check those stats? Nobody else is gonna double check those.
I'm pretty sure it is me, and not a dagger or anything, but I do run Ryan more than anybody, and I feel like that brings the best out in me, and he's always gonna run me hard. So like I tell people all the time that he can go out there, you know, shake the tires, get up close by the wall, take out a cone the pass before me. Like we'll be like, and like even our guys, when they'll come back sometimes, they'll be like, oh, Ryan was close by the wall, he had to shake the tires. Doesn't matter. When he goes to run me, it's going to be a straight pass. It's going to be the fastest pass of the night. It's just how it is. So we've learned to try to go as fast as we can, and sometimes we get around them, sometimes we don't.
Yeah, no, I think you and John Odom beaten a couple times this year. Like I said, it doesn't lose very often, so it's.
Do you know all the captains?
You race them a lot, for sure.
Yes, I know who all the captains are, but I'm not going to say them. How much do you love your mama? I love my mama very much. So yeah, Richard's just playing, guys. He's how would we say, what's Richard's job description? He handles all social media for Fireball and Ryan Motorsports. Ryan gets on there when he's talking and all that. That is Ryan, but I'm pretty sure that Richard handles, getting all the editing, the videoing. You'll see him running around the car, turning on cameras, getting it all ready, and that's one thing I will say that he's good at, and that's one of the reasons why I needed to hire somebody, was to be able to get somebody like him to be able to be there. It's hard for me to work on the car, set up the cameras, and get all the footage, then turn around and have to edit the footage and then post the footage. It's very tough. So being able to get somebody kind of like how he's got Richard as his right-hand guy, is be able to get all the content, be able to get the photos, because you need to post on social media. Social media is the next biggest thing. It already is the biggest thing, and that's how you're going to grow your deal. And that's the reason why Ryan will continue to keep growing, because he's got great people in his corner that's going to be able to help him succeed. And Richard's one of those guys, and he's helped me out, getting stuff and everything. So I appreciate that. But let's see.
Richard is the man.
Is Lizzie and Kai split? Nah, they're getting married. I'm the best man. So what new rule do you like the most? I can honestly answer that. I think the rule that I dislike the most is the 25-pound weight reduction for a car before 1979. I get it why they're trying to do it. They want people to have an older style car, but you should have to go build a car. And if you decide you want to build a car before that year, then you get a weight reduction. But the people that build cars that are 2018, like my new car, side piece, it's dumb because it's a 2022. So I don't get that 25 pounds. Now, granted, it's only a number or two, but still that number or two adds up at the end. So I will say, but it is what it is. I am gonna keep moving forward with it.
Yeah. You think it has to do with the aerodynamics? Is that pretty much why?
Aerodynamics don't mean shit in the 8th mile. If we're running quarter mile, I could see that. 8th mile, no.
Gotcha.
Did you like testing the Mills car? It was different. That's the first time I've ever been in somebody else's car with that kind of power to make a rip like that. I was a little nervous when I let go of the button the first time. It completely bunny hopped off the track. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it caught me off guard. And then I had to try to walk the throttle a couple times and get it down the track. So we finally got there. Then the second pass, we got it under control. I took it out to the 330, and then the third pass, I made a full rip. We'll have a YouTube video out on it this week, so you'll be able to watch that. So yeah,
Man,
Mills.
I can't believe you do all your social media stuff. And you edit all the videos and everything yourself?
Yes.
Man, you are one busy dude. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
tell me about it. So let's see. Your favorite track? I'd probably say either Minnesota or Colorado. Probably Colorado. See, whatever. You got any other questions you've seen? Or you got anything that you want to ask? I'm pretty much an open book.
No. You've answered way more than what I usually do. So this has been good.
Did you win the 98 grand? I did. The other guy went red, and I shook the tires right on the starting line. So for 98,000. Would you say George is your biggest fan? George is like family. I love George. I have that's one thing I can't say. I have a very loyal fan base. And I've grown it, and it's gotten big enough now to where I don't even have to argue with people no more. My fan base comes and does it for me, and I love that. Like, I sit behind the computer screen, and I'm smiling ear to ear whenever I see that shit going on. Yeah, I did win that race. I won the 98,000. I've been in a lot of other big races, 32, 45, 27,000, some big races. I've taken a lot of money from people in NPK on grudge racing. I had one guy that didn't want to bet money, so we bet his eyebrows. I won that race, so we shaved his eyebrows. I do like to gamble. As y'all seen on the show, I gambled a fan $5,000 down at Bradenton Motorsports Park. I know a lot of people thought that was fake, but one thing I will say is I've never been a part of any fake grudge racing. If I say there's money on the line, it's money that I'm okay with losing. And I've had people that came to me and be like, hey, let's go ahead and say this so we can go ahead and start. Let's just tell them we're racing, and that's it. There's no point in lying and saying, hey, and I can't stand it. There's people that's done an NPK. We're running for $10,000. No, the fuck you're not. You've never ran for $10,000 in your life. You wouldn't even know how to act when you run for $10,000. But it's easy for someone to say 10, or it's like it's just as easy to say 15. So might as well say we're running for $15,000, which you're not. But I tell people all the time, any race that I'm a part of, and I say that there's money on the line, that's how much money it is. I did bet that fan $5,000. I've ran Ryan for money before. I've ran Kai for you daddies, and I have to make sure if I lose, I pay all my debts. If they lose, I'm still owed a little bit of money for some people, but it's okay. They'll come around and they'll end up paying it. So let's see what else.
Just at Noonan recently. One of the questions was, well, I fucking lost it now. What's the advantage of going with Noonan instead of Proline? Yes, that was the question, I think.
I don't know yet. I haven't tested the Noonan. I'm hoping I went in the right direction, but I don't know.
To be determined.
Let's see. What else we got?
I'm not seeing too much new stuff.
I wish you would have took that big stack from Odom. He didn't want to race that race. He'll tell you to. He came into my trailer. We were in Kentucky. He came into my trailer, and he had $80,000 in a bag. And that was. And I love John to death, but I call it straight like I call it straight. He came in there, he had the cameras around, and it was, hey, let's run for 80 grand. And I told him, I said, listen, I don't have 80 grand with me right now, so I can't run you for that. I don't even have 80 grand in the bank account right now. Leaving that race, I can't remember where we went after Kentucky, but there was a lot of chirping on the internet, and I called my dad up, and I said, you know what? I said, fuck it. I said, I have $50,000. I had like 54 grand in the bank account. I said, I got 50 grand and we're going to go to this next race. I don't know where we went after Kentucky. Do you know where we went after Kentucky? This past?
Give me a minute.
I had $54,000 in the bank account. I remember like yesterday. I called my dad up and I said, I got $50,000. We are going to show up at this next race and we are going to run him for $50,000. I said, I don't have no more money than that. I said, if I lose, I may not be able to make it to the next few races. That's okay. I'll go ahead and regroup and come back out. I go, but we're shutting this shit down. Like, I'm either going to win. Minnesota. I said, we're either going to win or we're going to lose, but we are running for $50,000. And I didn't need the internet or none of that. I went ahead and called him on the phone and I told him, I said, hey, when we go to this next race, I said, we are running for 50 grand. I go, if I lose, I'm letting you know now, if I lose, you won't see me at the next couple races because I ain't got the money to be able to make it there. I said, but if I win, it's beneficial for me. I said, but we done with all this. You done throughout the 80,000, whatever. We are running for 50 grand. And then he come on there, and I made a Facebook post after we talked about it and everything. And he come on there, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to run for that." He goes, and he told me straight to my face. He goes, "Man, I'd be nervous running for $50,000." And I told him, and I never talked about it again. It was done. It was over with. But I was serious at that time. I literally went and pulled the money out. I took it in a bag with me. I took it to Minnesota, and I had 50 grand with me. And I was willing to run that race there. I was willing to either win. And I had made sure I let Pilgrim know. I let everybody know that race was happening, and that if I lost, you wouldn't see me for a couple races or maybe the rest of the season. I said, but I was done with the shit that was being talked online and everything going on. But we didn't run that race. Well, we ran the race, but we didn't want to run for 50. We ran for 5 instead. And I still waxed his ass, but I told him I was fucking done with the whole internet shit. That was the only time that like I was willing, and I was pretty confident in my car. Yeah, that deal there. But John's another good dude too. I mean, we became good friends. We went to Vegas together and all that. I'm good with everybody. I don't have no enemies out there. I have fun. I feel like in this world there's enough that everybody can make it. So I do wish that other people would would help others out. I feel like I've helped quite a few keep moving forward. I do get a lot of people that shit on me. It's basically because, you know, I'm moving up in the ranks higher and faster than other people are, but it's just because I put in the work, and I know what I want to do with my life, and I have goals and ambition to keep moving forward.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, Justin, hey man. First off, I want to thank you for coming on the live feed tonight, man. I know, especially with your social media and stuff, and I didn't know you did all that shit, man. You must be busy as hell, man. So
I do stay
taking the
pretty
time
busy.
to come out, man. I so appreciate it, man. I've been a fan of yours. It's a couple years ago when you came in, for sure. I love how you interact with your fans on social media and how you talk shit, and you're one of the realest guys. Like, you're definitely not faking it for TV, for sure. So again, thank you for coming on. I met your old man in Minnesota last year. You weren't around at the time, but I'll be at that first race in Ohio this year, so I'm definitely gonna come meet you.
All right, come hang out. Guys, he's making me get off. It's not me wanting to get off.
We can stay on.
He's kicking me off.
No. No, I'm not.
I'm gonna get messages. Why the hell did you get off so fast? I just got on.
I'm gonna get messages saying your fucking fans be like,
why'd you kick him off?
Get on, you fucking asshole. We don't gotta get off. We can stay on, man. I can stay on all night. I don't care.
Hell yeah. I'm only gonna. I just gotta edit videos. Once I get off here, I'm gonna be in the shop. I'll probably be out here for probably another 3 or 4 hours, just getting video content edited up and getting everything ready to go. But yeah, I'd stay on here for a couple more minutes. Where are we at? An hour and 7? Hell yeah, we'll probably go to hour 10. You got 3 more minutes, guys, so get y'all's questions in. I'll stay on here and answer as many questions as I can. I'm pretty much an open book, so I'll kind of answer. Are you gonna go to a Roots? I can't get down to Roots weight, so I'll never go to a Roots. Where's Big Country? He's probably asleep. It is 10:10 here right now.
He was on the chat like 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, he was in here.
Did you bond with anyone in particular down under? Does a bear shit in the woods? Will you ever put sponsors on the car? I'm pretty sure I have the sponsors on the car.
Big one, yeah.
What happened to your film guy, Justin? He actually had to have surgery on his leg. So he is out of commission and he won't start until May. So there is some content that I email over to him and I have him edit, put it back together, and we get it out. But for the most part, I handle everything, and I've been slowly transitioning him in on how I do things, on how I make my post and moving forward, so he can help me out this year. But he won't come on and be full-time until May. He is out of North Carolina. I'm going to relocate him to Florida, and he will be with me moving forward. How's the weather in Florida? Hot and muggy. Would you grudge race Lyle Barnett and Stevie Fast? Yes, I would. I've grudge raced Stevie Fast plenty of times. Are you still looking for a driver? So yeah, let me go ahead and talk about this, because I made a post talking about I was going to do a lease program, and I'm still going to do it. Just right now, my other car's not going to be ready. I am leasing a program for somebody to rent or lease. It's in the post that you will have to pay to be able to have the program and drive. You will show up, you will drive, you will leave. I am giving you a whole program, a tuner, crew guys, everything. All you gotta do is show up and drive. So no, I am not looking for a driver just to get in the car and drive. Can you beat Ryan this time? I beat Ryan last time. So, when are you going to test in Orlando? Here in a couple weeks, we're going to start testing the car. $350K in escrow. You definitely got to do that. If you go out there and fuck the car up, wreck it, or do whatever, we got to be able to fix it. Would you like to own a team and have drivers? Yes, that is my ultimate goal with this deal. And moving forward, Cali Mills is still a Swan Gang, but yes, my goal is to be able to be a team owner, have cars, and have drivers.
Nice.
Are you going on Billy's podcast? He asked me to come on there. Maybe I'll do it. I don't do a whole lot of podcasts, guys. I stay pretty busy and keep moving forward. He reached out at the right time, and I just so happily seen the message. And I said, let's do it. It took us, a while to get to this point. I was very busy, and I had a lot of things going on, but he was able to work around my schedule, and we finally were able to come out and do it. What's the best dish that BC makes? I mean, he's a great cook. That's another deal. We're doing a cooking channel with BC, so that's going to come back out. That's one thing that, my new guy, video editor, he's going to be able to help me out and do that too. It just got to the point where it's outgrown me. Yes, I'll give everybody a notice when I test in Orlando. Anytime I test, everybody's allowed to come out and have fun and watch. I just tell people to be respectful. Just know that we are there to test, and that I'm pretty busy. I guess hitchhiker's a sore subject. No, it's not a sore subject. What's wrong? What's the issue? Yeah, Cheyenne, she had some other obligations, and we talked it over, and she moved on. There's no more to it. How about a shirt you signed for me? Okay, sounds good. Why didn't you stay with the Liberty? Liberty's getting hit with weight this year. How's the red tide in coming down in Clearwater in June? I don't get to go out to the beach a lot, so I couldn't tell you. Hey Justin, I recently found your social media. You got a new fan for life. Tony G, shout out to you, man. Appreciate it. I like to have fun. I like to race. I like to talk shit, and that's about it. So, are you and Kyle still buddies? Yeah, we just went and ate dinner a couple weeks ago. Still sunburnt? Yes, I am very sunburnt right now. It's to the point now where the shirt and stuff don't hurt, but it's definitely still pretty rough.
Oh, that's the worst.
So where's the Swan Gang wall in the shop? So that's part of the room that we're building. So that outside wall that you see right there, we are getting it all decorated up. Shout out to everybody, and everybody that wants to be on the Swan Gang wall art. You will be able to, people that's already paid for a spot, you automatically be on there. But if you want to pay for a spot, you can. You'll be inside the shop, and you'll be there for life. Fitted hats are coming back soon. Best place to vacation in Florida. Depends on what you want to do, but I would say either Clearwater, St. Pete, Orlando, or Fort Lauderdale. When do you think side piece will be ready? I'm not sure. The Mustang will be back in May. Yes, we're going to do a shop hangout. We'll invite people over to come hang out in the shop. We got all kinds of merch coming out this year. Just stick around. So, this is where I get bad, because I'll sit here and answer everybody's question.
What's the website, Justin, where they can go buy merch right now?
You go on our website, www.justinswanstrom69.com. We are in the process of moving some things around on the website. We have a lot of new hats coming out, like this hat here. It's not been released yet. A lot of people have been liking it. They want it. So I'm in the process of getting that out here in the next couple weeks. I will make a post online. We will talk about it once we get the site and everything updated. So, Justin, nobody in NPK puts out more content than you do. You are a grinder for sure. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Dude, there's so many coming in. See ya in Ohio. Okay. Oh, that's in it. What color is Prenup going to be? It's going to be green. Murder Nova is awesome to hang out with. Being out there for 5.5 weeks out there, dude, he's funny as shit. And like I said, we're all on a group chat now, and we still text to this day. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. We got a lot of stuff coming out this year, podcasts, new channels. new merch. We got some cool things. We're gonna try to hit every single race. My game plan, like I've always said, is to hit every race, try to make sure it's entertaining for y'all. Something seriously would have to happen for us to miss a race. But for the most part, I have a good record so far on making every single race. Would you ever put radios back on? Man, Street Outlaws keeps us so busy that I don't even know if I have time to put radios back on for what we got going on. So, have a great night. Great interview. Hey, Brett, appreciate it. See you in Minnesota. So, I think that's about it.
Justin does a couple jobs. Jim Howe. All right, Justin. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I will see you soon, man.
I appreciate it. See you.
See ya.
See you guys.